I'm back. So I'm putting the hinges onto the upside down bonnet. I've had all sorts of problems lining things up, and one of the things we discovered was the holes, the recesses for the hinges were in completely different places on either side. To get them even on the bonnet, evenly spaced on the bonnet, we've moved stuff over a bit. Because I've had to cut that away there, I need to re-fiberglass that because there's nowhere for that part of the hinge to bolt on. There's a hole all the way through. I needed some countersunk Allen bolts, so I've been and got them this morning so that the hinge will sit right down. Right, so what I've done, I've now taped the bumper on so I can see where I've got it positioned right there. So now, instead of like trying to position two things onto the car at the same time and sort of line three things up essentially, what I'm going to do is bolt up the bumper in this position so it's lined up with the bonnet, and then offer that up to the car, and then all I've got to do is really line up the bonnet. This is how this is meeting. We're going to need a packer in there. This needs extended because it's been trimmed out here, but it's been trimmed too far. We've got it lined up at the corners. And it's looking pretty good at the front edge. So yeah, I'm going to fire some more tape on that so it holds while I flip it over, and then I'm going to be able to drill through the light reveal up through there, through the screw, and that'll give us the position of the holes. So when plan A doesn't work, you got to go plan B. We're now at plan C, so I maybe should have done this first really. So what I've done is I've taped the hinges to this level so that they're straight and true with each other while they were centralised as well. So I've got my holes lined up. I'm doing away with the packers because this recess in here and the other side, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Obviously the hinges were probably different on the original RS, so, but anyway, I'm going to fill this whole recess, but just with the hinge sitting on the top of it, so it sits down slightly and it creates a clearance on there. But I'm gonna fill that whole pocket. Alright, so that's a setup. I've taped the holes at the back. I've got my little supports at the end, keeping it all level. I've measured across the gap here for the height as well, and it's sitting level across there as well, so we are now central and level. And when I do this, it will be very square as well. So hinges sat on the level there. I'm just going to wax the back of the hinges so that they don't stick to the filler. Time to make some filler.
So we don't need a lot, it's just to fill them holes. What do you reckon? Like that? Maybe a bit more just in case. So this is like a hardener. The filler's a 2-pack, 2-part. So you're going to mix the hardener into the filler. When you start doing it, it looks like raspberry ice cream. But once you've got it all mixed in, it's just all one consistent colour. You've got to make sure that you get all the bits off the card and all the bits off the board mixed in properly, so the back of the card as well, because you don't want any soft bits in your filler. Right, that's that ready to put in.
Shout out to the boys at Fleet Factors. This is not easy to do with one hand. Oh, I don't know, you know, I might use it. Crikey, them holes are bigger than I thought. Oh, we're going to have a fast mix to get enough in for the second one. That's them both full. A bit over full, really. But I'd rather have something to sand off than have to put more filler in. Right, I'm going to put the bit of filler left there. Put the bar on. That's it, sat down in position. Squeezed a bit of it out. Here's Otis. Hi Otis. Hey pal. Hello. He's a good boy. Alright, that's them drilled. So now I've just got to clean off this around the edges, lift the hinge off, sand it down, we'll have a perfect mount. I've not been filming much, but I have got to the stage where I bolted on and it hinges, but I think it's going to need to go further than that, so the packers that I've got in there are going to have to be bigger to make that work. It's nicely lined up on the both edges, both corners. And the only thing that I could do to get it to tilt more is to bring it forward, but I'm kind of quite happy with the line, so I don't know. We shall see. That's me finished for the day. It's been a battle. The front end is now bolted up. These are just sat in there. So it's starting to look like a car. Still got that door to do. Obviously there's loads to do, roofs to do. So this now does lift up. Still a bit of work to do on these hinges. I've only got them in on a couple of bolts, but I've got the position and everything, so I'm going to have to make some nice mounts for them. I'm back at the garage. Yeah. And there's something really crazy here. So back to the RS on RB. So these are the headlight bezels that are round and don't really go in the hole. You can sort of squeeze the dodgy camera in. You can sort of force it in, but it makes it oval. So I'm just trimming away. I guess I can get quite a lot off. I'm just going to bit by bit. So I started hacking at this one. Also messing on with the roof. Trying to decide what to do here, because obviously we're changing all the door reveal. So these are the tops of the kit doors, which I'm going to fix to the kit roof, which I'm then going to fix to the fiberglass replacement roof, something like that. On that car with the two engines, apparently it was a Vauxhall van. It's got two Saab engines in it. It's pulled on the dyno 570 brake on the front engine, but it's got a misfire, so it's got more to go. But yeah, the more I've got back into cars, the more I've realised, especially with this place, JDM Dyno, it's only petrol heads that come here, and so they've all got an addiction. They've all got like including me, like a very strong passion for cars, almost like an addiction. And also a common theme with everybody that comes here, they've not only got a heavy addiction, they've got a problem as well. They've also got like really big goals and really empty wallets, as Jonathan says, and that's not entirely his fault. It's almost like a community of petrol heads anonymous sort of thing. There's now goes right, there's not, like, nothing goes straight forward, everything has problems, and you change something, and then they say that the reward for solving a problem is a bigger problem, and I think maybe sometimes in the car community, when you're tuning cars, when you're building stuff, you just accept it for the love of it, don't you? Yeah, this hasn't been straightforward. The RS, the Datsun hasn't been straightforward. I don't recall anything that's been straightforward. So yeah, credit to those who do finish builds and get them to where they want to be, because you've obviously went through a long journey. So, but yeah, it's just I think it's an interesting observation that especially around this garage anyway, and I imagine a lot of other garages as well, you'll find a similar sort of community of people that tend to help each other out as well, which is I've just lent these lots some Audi R8 coil packs to see if they can sort out the misfire. Don't think it's worked, but yeah, so there you go. Better put a mask on. Mask on. Getting closer, but battery's gone flat. Put it on charge. So I roughly guesstimated the top being there, but it seems to want to sit there. I've had to change the shape of the back because there's some chunky bits that was making it stick out. So to get it sat in, I still need to do a little bit more of that actually. But it's in there. Lamp pod done. Right, that's them in. Under a little bit of tension, but they'll that one's sitting in by itself. This one's very close to sitting by itself. It's got to finish off these edges because they've got a lip around them. So I've been busy watching that crazy car on the dyno. It's now up to just shy of 600 brake. As far as the roof's concerned, we've still got loads to do. I've decided I'm going to cut this front edge off because the roof flows that way and this goes that way, so it creates like a lump. So I'm going to cut it off there, and then that means that that'll sit down a lot lower at the front. I'll keep it higher at the back, so it'll have a slightly higher rake on it, but it'll flow better into the window. So this is where I'm at with the hinge mounts. Basically what I've done, I'll pull this off so you can see. So I've got it shaped up, and so that it was recessed into the hinge like that. Well, the hinge was recessed into that, and then I've chopped the bottom off, so it's now I'm guesstimating the height, but it's about right. And then I've dremeled a load of recesses, little holes, just dimples into the front of it. And other than that, it's all like sanded 180 up to 400 grit. So I'm just going to paint them now, and I've masked off the front edge so that if and when I put LEDs in there, that'll illuminate, just the front edge will illuminate. So I'm just going to paint them now. Bit of satin black. Just want a light coat on first, really dusted on. That makes the surface sticky. This camera's wrecked, screen's cracked, there's dust everywhere. God knows how long it's going to last, but it's certainly getting a hammer, and it's not really designed for garage use, I don't think. Will do. So now I'm going to have to sand off the back, but I'll wait for that to dry. Right, so paint's dry and I've sanded the back, so it still looks pretty black. There we go. So there we go. Completely unnecessary as far as a hinge mount goes, but looks good and a nice little feature. So obviously those will be tucked underneath where those are, because I want to raise this up so you can see how that's going to go. I have taped the lights, so there's the hinges there. I've taped them to a light bar, so just to get an idea of what they're going to look like. I sanded one down to see if it lit up more. It's that one. It's a bit hard to tell. So they work quite well anyway. I wasn't really planning on putting colours in them, it's just because this is a coloured light bar, but not bad for bonnet mounts anyway. I don't know whether it makes any difference, creating a non-shiny surface. It's got quite a beam on it as well. Yeah, that's worked out well. Right, thanks for watching. Do the buttons, please and thank you. And yeah, we'll see you next time. God knows what I'm going to be doing, but yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Bye bye.